Dibbers, Dibbettes, and of course crazy people. Well, the times they are a-changing. And for some people, more than others. Stay tuned for our little chat with Gio. All right, so Gio, you and me go way back.
Quite a few years now.
We have known each other for a long time.
Yes.
But the unusual thing is that I haven't seen you in like forever.
It's been a while.
I haven't been keeping track. So if you could just share with me what's new.
Well, hey, I think most people probably already know. I've had quite a few videos done about me already. Going through separation. It is not a nasty separation where we're fighting. We actually are getting along. It's just we've discovered, or not discovered, but we came to a conclusion that we were better apart. And so we are not enemies. In fact, we even did a video that together, kind of explaining a little bit about it. But I'll be moving as well.
Okay. Yep. Now, you don't want to disclose the location yet of where you're moving
Not yet, but I will tell you, it came down to 4 places for me, which I've previously liked. I liked Davao. In Cebu, I liked Mactan, Newtown. Of course, that was during the pandemic. It's changed. Bacolod and Iloilo. Those are the 4 places.
Options for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And, all right. So, one of the things that I'm curious about is you two are separating, and I think it's tough on you and it's tough on her because you're in the public eye. And I think what people forget is that people break up all the time. You know, there's a 50% divorce rate in America.
Yes.
Let me get your take on this. I asked this question to another guy. If divorce was just okay in the Philippines, and I don't mean just between foreigners and a Filipina, but between Filipino, do you have an idea what the divorce rate would be, or have you ever given that any thought?
I think it would be quite high as well. It's actually very common here. You'll see people who are legally married and then they separate and they go live off on different islands and have a girlfriend and kids, and because
most
can't afford the annulment, or do they even qualify for it?
Right. And I don't think that law is enforced, the adultery law. Usually somebody's got to roll you under the bus, or have somebody in the background that's got something to gain from it.
My understanding is you either have to be caught in the act or cohabitating.
Okay. All right. So, but a foreigner, I know a lot of foreigners, I'm sure you do too, that are living with technically married women.
I know several just in Dumaguete.
And they don't have any qualms about it. And,
no. They keep it off of social media.
Yeah, you just got to keep it under the radar. And as long as the ex doesn't find out, or even if the ex knows, unless they're vindictive or they want to get something from the foreigner or from the arrangement, then you might have an issue. But okay, well, we won't belabor that. So I think that since you guys had decided to part ways, like I said before, that's really not anything all that newsworthy, to be honest with you. I mean, couples try, they get together, they get divorced, they get married, and then in many cases, like I said, just a matter of time. They don't see eye to eye, or things change, or circumstances change, and they decide, you know what, I think we're better off just being friends and going our separate ways. And are you motivated to, I think it's smart, number one, because Maya, she needs to stay in Dumaguete, am I correct?
She does. Her daughter's here, and of course, the father of her daughter is very much, she's not, a lot of Filipino relationships you hear the father's gone. But that's not the case with
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the father's
he's still involved with the child. So just for the child itself, it would not be on her radar to bail out of Dumaguete.
No, because if, for example, if Maya wants to travel somewhere, maybe for a weekend or something, she's got people who can watch her daughter. So
including the father.
Including the father.
You're the first choice, I imagine.
Yeah.
And you're going to be taking off, like you said, to one of 4 places. I think that was, I know your stand on Dumaguete is pretty much the same as mine. It's got its good points, it's got its negatives, it's got its pluses, it's got its minuses.
Yes.
But I think that it would be impossible. I know if I put myself in your shoes and I was to get a divorce from May or just break up with May, I couldn't live in the same town as her. It would be really uncomfortable. It'd be really uncomfortable if I saw her walking in with another guy,
Right.
you know, or if I was with another girl and she saw me. Is that one of your motivations for bailing out? Or
it's definitely not the main. I mean, right now I'm not even thinking about dating or anything. Right now, I'm just enjoy solo time for a while.
Sure.
But my main thing was I want to go back to condo living. I feel comfortable in condos for various reasons, but one is like I want to do a lot more traveling. I'll be going back to the U.S. more, and I like to be able to lock my condo and go off for a month and feel secure. And I feel like in a condo, you're probably is one of the most secure places you can.
I can't disagree.
In. Yeah.
And if you're a single guy living by yourself, a one-bedroom condo is very tolerable.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not my first choice, but it would be tolerable to me if it was just me. You start moving more people in, I start to get a little hinky.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to have a balcony. How about you?
Yes, and I actually, I'll show people this, but where I ended up getting a 2-bedroom, one bath, and it's a corner unit with a wraparound balcony. And the balcony is literally so big you could fit 25 people out there with tables. They'll see in an upcoming video. I'm not going to.
Something to look forward to, kids.
Yeah.
Stay tuned to Geo in the Philippines.
When I saw it, I was like, yes. In fact, that actually helped me decide on the city because this condo was.
Yeah, because whenever I'm in a hotel and it doesn't have a balcony, I feel claustrophobic. You know, or
it's like a prison cell a little bit.
Yeah. It's like I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
If you're on the 9th floor, it's like I got to take an elevator ride just to get some air.
For sure.
So. Let's talk about divorce. I asked your permission about this. You plan to file for divorce, and that would make you single. And then I was always under the impression that I could fly to the States tomorrow, I could file for divorce from May, and I could be granted that divorce.
Yes.
And because she would never get served, she would never show up to court.
Right.
And I would get paperwork saying I'm a divorced guy, I could come back, I could get a new cinema for myself saying, hey, I'm single.
Yes.
But May would be stuck as a married woman. But you educated me. And would you educate them as to how Maya can now become single again?
Well, if you don't give her a copy of the divorce papers, she could literally be stuck being considered married, and the Senomar would keep coming back as married. But if you get her, which was the right thing to do, you would give her a copy of the divorce papers. You can file with the courts here a recognition of foreign divorce, and they will recognize it. It might take a little bit of time and a few pesos, but they will recognize it.
Okay. Now I want to go over, we won't belabor the relationship anymore. Okay, it's over, it's done, it's amicable.
It's amicable. We've even did a video that'll come out tomorrow. So
good. Well, I hope you guys will. You know, I imagine that 95% of the people that watch her channel or her channel, they understand. And like any divorce, I'm sure people take your side and some take her side.
Right.
And all that. The good news is that the public has a very short memory. And so you might be big news this week, and then somebody else will come in and take your place.
Yeah, something
will
happen.
Spotlight.
It always
the heat
does.
off.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it's helped this month's views on my YouTube, so thank you. Thank you for the videos being made about me and stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. Always good to get, there's no such thing as bad publicity, right?
Bad press is good press, yeah. Exactly.
What else was I going to ask you? You talked about going back to America. First thing that crossed my mind when I heard that, and you can explain your reasons and what your motivations are, but I have a question that's a little I don't think you've heard before. Would you ever consider going back and just working a 9-to-5 for a couple of years, just to get credits like for your Social Security or anything like that? Has that ever entered your cranium?
Well, I still pay taxes and everything, of course, and I did put in 30 years of work, so I do have the credits.
Oh, you do? So you qualify for Social Security?
I qualify for Social Security.
I didn't know that.
I started working at 14, and I went all the way to, I don't know, at least 30 years, 30, 31. So I'm okay there, and I invested in 401k. I had a 401k match at my long-term job, and also the Army had a program like that. So I saved, and I keep dumping money into it. So I feel prepared.
Do you pay Social Security tax when you do your taxes?
I do.
Awesome. I didn't know that. See, I'm learning more things. It's been too long since we've had a conversation. Oh, one other thing I wanted to shout out real quick was about Geo. Is you and I connected early on when I was first doing my channel.
Did, yeah.
And you were kind of doing your channel. I guess we came out of the gate at about the same time.
Right about the same time,
yeah. And I'm technologically challenged. And I've never publicly acknowledged Geo, but I do want to take a minute and, because I've always talked a lot when people ask me about my channel and how it got started and all this and that, and I'm not going to bore you with it, but I always credited Monty Crew, who was the guy that kind of convinced me to do it. But I want to make sure I acknowledge Geo in this video that we're doing right now for all the time and all the help that he gave me when I didn't know what the hell to do on the computer and what this meant and what that meant. So I just want to thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You were a gentleman. He's an awesome teacher, by the way, super patient. And I can see how you were effective as a teacher, because I would ask you the same question 3 times. And not once would he just get upset. He would just reset and start from 1 and go to the end all over again. So I really want to express my appreciation to Geo. I don't think I've adequately done that in the past.
Well, thank you.
But now that I got you next to me and I can say it to your face, I want to go ahead and do that.
Appreciate it.
So America, what's the dealio with America?
Well, I have 3 sons who are all teenagers now, and the oldest is already working, ready to graduate school. And I have few precious years left while they're still kind of in their youth. And we, partly because of my ex-wife, we had lost communication. I tried to reach out, but they didn't have phones or anything, and my ex would always block communication. And
there's something I'm going to butt in, because there's something that people don't know. You've been a gentleman as far as your ex-wife is concerned, a lot more than I have about mine. But she was really instrumental in keeping you separated from your kids. And the only way, and I don't know if it was a legal thing or whatever, but I know that you paid your child support every month.
Yeah, every month.
We talked about that early on when we first met.
Yep.
And but you wanted to stay in communication with your kids.
Wanted to. I
and
tried.
She, like you said, phones were taken away. You finally got a breakthrough on that.
I did. I mean, my oldest son finally had his own phone, and basically he said, this is what was said, and this is, and I'm not going to tell the details. But
No.
We rekindled our relationship, and my ex-wife had a change of heart, softened up over the years, or whatever, and we got back in touch. And then in June we had a fantastic trip. We went camping and fishing, and just it was almost like I never left. We really very quickly built our bond again, and
awesome.
I'm on a video call with him daily. It's not the same as being there. If I could go back, I would do things different. I know I've made mistakes, but now and even after I had visited in June, I said I need to come back a couple times a year. I need to stay longer, and that's what I've decided. So I'll be back probably in about 3 months or so, and then I'm going to be back for Christmas and Thanksgiving, and just going to be back a lot more and a lot longer. And that's partly where the condo comes into play. I feel more secure locking the door and walking away for a month or so.
The air conditioner.
Yeah.
Turn off the lights and away you go.
Yeah.
And you come back and it's completely gate guarded and all that. And you've got a guard at the gate and just let them know and whatever.
They are more expensive now. They're teenagers, so for Christmas, I got a laptop for my one son, and they get more expensive as they get older.
Yeah. And they grow up so slowly.
Yeah. My oldest is taller than me. He's like 5'10". Yeah, so maybe 5'11". But yeah.
So if you look back on your time here in the Philippines, kind of because we've been here about the same. You've been here longer than I have.
2016, I arrived.
This is kind of off the cuff, but do you have like a fondest memory of the Philippines, of anywhere that not necessarily where you've lived or who you've known, but is there one thing that stands out and that you can reflect on and just puts a smile on your face?
Just different moments of traveling to a new location, and when I first. I complain sometimes about a lot of things, but the one thing that really brings me happiness still is these Filipinos with their big smiles and adversity to bad things happening to them. I remember going through the typhoon in Cebu, and I'm walking around. I felt like crying looking at the devastation, and the Filipinos were still laughing, and it's like amazing. So the Filipino.
See, it wasn't. See, that's the cool thing.
Yeah.
Is that he didn't say, "Oh, I went skydiving," or I did this thing that's really memorable.
Really
it was just a vibe.
It is.
It's the feedback that you get, and I think that's what keeps a lot of people here younger, healthier, happier.
For sure. Less stress.
Just less stress. Is you can go out on a typical day and be. You almost bitch slap myself because I'm grumpy. And then here's somebody with a broken down car, and they're using a stick to try to lift it up, and they're laughing their asses off while they're doing it, where I'd be kicking it, And I thought, this is such an internal lesson for me. And I think you get the same vibe. I think it just permeates us over time.
Yeah. I mean, I did a video, I think about a month ago, where I rented a car. They had no jack or anything in the back. They had a spare tire, but I broke down up in the mountains way like 4 hours from here, and Filipinos just came from all over and just helped. They tracked down a jack, and they helped change and they didn't even, I tried to hand them 1,000 pesos. They didn't even want it.
No.
And I almost it took like 5 times before they took it. We hear all the, I was scammed, but there's also the great stories of how kind they are too.
Well, we're entering into a new year.
Yes.
So do you have any New Year's resolutions or things that you're going to change? Have you been reflective and said, boy, I wish I could have changed that, or I need to change this about myself, or I need to start doing this, or I need to start doing that? What is your goal just for Gio in the year coming up?
Gio would like some time to be single and just reflect on. I can say this with 100% confidence. I don't think I'll ever get married again. Some people are for that. Me, I don't think I'm really that great at relationships, not at this point in my life. Maybe when I get older and I don't have that travel bug or that antsiness, and I need to wait till my sons are at this point. Now that I got them back in my life, I need to set them more as a priority and be in the U.S. as much as I can, even though it's expensive. But
you stole my response. I was going to say, your year moving forward, it looks like your priorities have shifted.
Yes,
and you're shifting along with them.
Yeah.
And so I want to do nothing but wish you and Maya nothing but health, happiness.
Appreciate it.
And I know you guys are still friendly.
Which
I think is awesome. You haven't, neither one of you guys has bashed the other because there's no reason to.
And I won't, and I don't think she would either.
No. And I want to thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to come chat with me one last time. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we'll bump it into each other again.
Who knows?
But I just want to acknowledge that, Gio has been a big influence for me. And I again want to thank him. I want to thank him for his time. I hope those that are watching this, I know we're going to get the snarky ones, and we'll go ahead and pin that for you.
Of course. That's okay. That's part of the business. Is If you're going to get bad stuff, you're going to get good stuff.
So anyway, Gio, thank you so much for being a gentleman, coming on the Old Dog Channel.
No problem.
And we'll see you when we see you.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right.
Bye, guys.